Hello, Leo. I need to talk to you about what just came through in this reading because the energy here is absolutely fascinating. I pulled cards specifically for you, and what I discovered is that you have activated something incredibly powerful. You have essentially made the most misunderstood force in tarot become your personal protector. Yes, we are talking about that energy, the one everyone fears, but you, Leo. You have learned how to work with it in a way that is absolutely brilliant. So I am sitting here with your cards spread out in front of me, and I have to tell you, this reading gave me chills. Not the scared kind, but the kind where you realize someone has figured out the game on a level most people never reach. You have turned what others run from into your greatest advantage. Let me walk you through what the cards are showing because this is seriously next level. The first card that came out for you is the Two of Cups, and honestly, when this appeared I understood immediately what you did. This card is about sacred partnership, about union, about creating bonds that go beyond the surface level. But here's what is fascinating, Leo. You did not just create a partnership with another person or even with the divine. In the traditional sense, you created a partnership with your own shadow. You looked at the parts of yourself that society told you to hide, the parts that were too intense, too ambitious, too powerful, too much. And instead of rejecting them, you said, "Come here. Let me work with you." This is the energy of someone who has integrated their darkness rather than fighting it. You know how most people spend their entire lives trying to be good, trying to be light, trying to suppress anything that feels too edgy or too real. You took a different path. You recognized that those intense desires, that hunger for power, that willingness to be ruthless when necessary, those are not flaws, Leo, those are tools. The Two of Cups here represents the moment you stopped being at war with yourself and started being in partnership with every part of who you are. What this created is something most people will never understand. When you unite with your shadow, when you accept it fully, you become untouchable in a way that pure light alone could never achieve. Because people who only cultivate their light side, they have weaknesses. They have blind spots. They can be manipulated through guilt or shame or fear of being seen as bad. But you already know your darkness. You already own it. So nobody can use it against you. That is the protection that comes from this card. You have made yourself whole, and in that wholeness you found an incredible power. I am seeing this manifest in your life as someone who cannot be guilt-tripped anymore, someone who cannot be shamed into being smaller. You have looked at your ambition dead in the eye and said, "Yes, I want success. I want recognition. I want to win," and you stopped apologizing for it. That is a sacred union right there. The marriage between your light and your shadow, between your heart and your hunger. The second card is Judgment, and Leo, this is where things get really interesting. Judgment is about resurrection, about being called up to a higher level, about the moment when everything changes because you finally answer your true calling. But in the context of what you have done, this card is showing me that you have been reborn through this process of shadow integration. There was a version of you that died, the version that tried to be palatable, that tried to fit into other people's expectations. That dimmed your fire because it made others uncomfortable. That version of you went through a death, and what emerged is something far more powerful. You rose from those ashes like a phoenix, Leo, which is very on brand for you. But this time you rose with full knowledge of who you really are. Judgment is a card of awakening, and what you woke up to is this truth, that the universe does not reward the meek. The universe rewards those who are willing to claim their power fully. You heard that call and you answered it. You stopped playing small. You stopped pretending that your desires were wrong or that your intensity was too much. You looked at the cosmic invitation to step into your full magnitude and you said, "Yes, I am ready." What is protecting you now is this alignment with your truth. When you live in complete authenticity, when you stop lying to yourself about who you are and what you want, you create a kind of spiritual armor. People can sense it. They can feel that you are not someone who can be moved off your path. You have been called to something greater, and you are answering that call with every fiber of your being. I am also seeing with this Judgment card that you have done the work of evaluating yourself. Honestly, you have looked at your past actions, your motivations, your desires, and instead of condemning them, you have integrated them. You have judged yourself by your own standards rather than by what society expects. That self-awareness is powerful, Leo. It means you know exactly who you are. You know what you are capable of, both the creation and the destruction. And you have made peace with all of it. The third card that appeared is the Five of Wands, And this might seem like a conflict card, but let me tell you what I am seeing here. This is showing me that you thrive in competition. While other people see conflict as something to avoid, you see it as the arena where you prove yourself. You have learned to use opposition as fuel rather than as an obstacle. The Five of Wands represents the battle, the struggle, the competition for dominance. Most people drain their energy trying to avoid conflict or trying to make everyone like them. Not you, Leo. You have recognized that conflict is where growth happens. Competition is where you sharpen your skills. Opposition is what makes you better. You have turned the battlefield into your playground. What makes you protected here is that you are not afraid of the fight anymore. Other people can be controlled through their fear of confrontation, their need to keep the peace, their desire to avoid making waves. But you have embraced the warrior energy within you. You know that sometimes you have to fight for what you want. Sometimes you have to compete. Sometimes you have to be willing to face opposition head-on. That willingness makes you dangerous in the best possible way. I am seeing that you have learned to channel competitive energy constructively. You do not fight just to fight. You compete with purpose. Every battle you engage in is strategic. Every conflict you enter serves your larger goals. You have become a master at using opposition to propel yourself forward, rather than letting it hold you back. That is the wisdom of someone who has integrated their inner devil. You know how to work with aggressive energy without being consumed by it. The protection here comes from the fact that you are ready for whatever comes. Other people can try to challenge you, can try to compete with you, can try to knock you down. But you are already in warrior mode. You have trained for this. You have prepared for this. You are not caught off guard by conflict because you have made conflict your training ground. That preparedness is its own form of invincibility. Now the fourth card is absolutely beautiful, and it is the Queen of Cups. After all this talk of shadow work and warrior energy, you might wonder what this deeply emotional and intuitive card is doing here. But Leo, this makes perfect sense. The Queen of Cups represents emotional mastery, deep intuition, and the ability to navigate the waters of feeling without drowning in them. What this is showing me is that your shadow integration has not made you cold or heartless. Instead, it has given you incredible emotional intelligence. You understand the full spectrum of human emotion. Because you have been willing to feel all of it yourself. You have sat with your rage, your jealousy, your ambition, your desire for revenge. All those feelings people are taught to suppress. By feeling them fully, and not judging yourself for them, you have developed a profound understanding of human nature. The Queen of Cups is protected because she understands emotional currents. She knows when someone is being manipulative. She can sense hidden agendas. She feels the energy beneath the words. That is you now, Leo. Your willingness to embrace your shadow has actually enhanced your intuition because you are not in denial about what humans are really like. You know the darkness exists because you have met it in yourself, so you can recognize it instantly in others. This card is also showing me that you have learned to use emotion as power, rather than being victimized by your feelings. The Queen of Cups sits calmly on her throne holding her ornate cup, completely in control of the emotional realm. She does not suppress her feelings, but she also does not let them control her. You have achieved that same mastery, Leo. Your emotions fuel your passion and your drive, but they do not cloud your judgment or make you reckless. What protects you here is your emotional sovereignty. Nobody can manipulate your feelings anymore because you understand them too well. Nobody can make you feel guilty or ashamed because you have already accepted all parts of yourself. Nobody can use your emotions against you because you have turned your emotional awareness into one of your greatest strengths. The Queen of Cups energy combined with shadow integration creates someone who is both deeply feeling and completely unshakable. The fifth card is the Moon in O. Leo, this is where your protection becomes almost mystical. The Moon is about illusion, intuition, the subconscious, the hidden realms. This card is telling me that you have learned to navigate the darkness so well that you can see in places where others are blind. Most people fear the Moon energy because it represents uncertainty, the unknown, the things that lurk beneath the surface. But you have made the darkness your home. You have spent so much time integrating your shadow that you are completely comfortable in the murky waters of the subconscious. You can move through environments and situations that would terrify others because you are not afraid of what you might find there. You have already found it in yourself. The Moon protects you by giving you vision where others have none. You can sense deception. You can feel when something is off. You can navigate by instinct through situations that have no clear path. Other people stumble in the dark, but you thrive there. You have turned your ability to work with shadow energy into a form of night vision. You see what others miss. You understand what others cannot comprehend. I am also seeing with the moon that you have learned to trust your intuition completely. You do not second-guess yourself anymore. When you get a gut feeling about someone or something, you listen to it. You have learned that your subconscious knows things your conscious mind has not caught up to yet. That trust in your own inner knowing is incredibly powerful. It means you cannot be fooled easily. You cannot be led astray because your internal compass is so finely tuned. The protection of the moon is the protection of mystery. You have become someone that others cannot quite figure out. They cannot predict you. They cannot manipulate you because they do not fully understand what drives you. You have embraced the mysterious aspects of your own nature, and that makes you enigmatic in a way. That keeps you safe. People cannot attack what they cannot clearly see or understand. The final card, and honestly, Leo, this brings everything full circle, is a Five of Cups. Now, typically this card is seen as loss, grief, disappointment. 3 cups spilled, 2 cups remaining. But in your reading, this card has a completely different energy. This is showing me that you have learned the ultimate protection, which is non-attachment to outcome. You have experienced loss. You have felt disappointment. You have had things not work out the way you planned. But instead of being destroyed by these experiences, you learned from them. You discovered that you could survive the worst and come back stronger. Every spilled cup taught you something. Every disappointment revealed the truth. Every loss made you more resilient. The Five of Cups represents someone who has looked at what went wrong and integrated those lessons, rather than being broken by them. You understand now that sometimes things need to fall apart so better things can come together. Sometimes what looks like loss is actually redirection. Sometimes what feels like failure is actually preparation for something greater. What protects you with this energy is that you cannot be devastated anymore. Yes, you can feel disappointment, but it does not destroy you. Yes, you can experience loss, but you know you will rebuild. You have proven to yourself over and over that you are resilient beyond measure. That resilience is perhaps your greatest protection, because it means there is nothing life can throw at you that will keep you down permanently. I am also seeing that the Five of Cups has taught you to focus on what remains rather than what is lost. Even when 3 cups are spilled, you still have to. You have learned to work with what you have rather than mourning what you lost. That pragmatic approach to setbacks is incredibly powerful. You do not waste time in victim mentality. You assess the situation, learn what you can, and move forward with what resources remain. That forward momentum is unstoppable. So Leo, let me bring this all together for you, because what the cards are showing is absolutely extraordinary. You made the devil your guardian by integrating your shadow completely. Through the Two of Cups, you created sacred partnership with your darkness. Through judgment, you were reborn into your authentic power. Through the Five of Wands, you learned to thrive in conflict. Through the Queen of Cups, you mastered the emotional realm. Through the Moon, you became able to see in darkness. Through the Five of Cups, you developed unshakable resilience. You are protected now in ways that go beyond normal understanding. You are protected by your self-knowledge. You are protected by your willingness to embrace all of who you are. You are protected by your refusal to be shamed or diminished. You are protected by your ability to navigate both light and dark with equal skill. You have become untouchable not because nothing can harm you, but because you have developed the strength to handle absolutely anything. The devil energy that protects you is simply your own, powerfully claimed and unapologetically expressed. You are not playing by anyone else's rules anymore, Leo. You are writing your own. That is the ultimate protection. When you become sovereign in your own life, when you stop seeking permission or approval, when you fully own every aspect of who you are, you become a force that cannot be stopped. I hope this reading resonates with you, Leo. I would love to hear if you have felt this shift happening in your life. Have you noticed that you feel more protected lately, more confident, more able to handle whatever comes your way? Drop a comment and let me know, because this energy is seriously powerful. And I think a lot of you are experiencing this transformation right now. You are absolutely unstoppable, Leo. Own it completely.